Once upon a long while ago, there was no Santa Claus. Well, granted, there was a Saint Nicholas, but no Santa Claus. There was a Sinterklaas, but he was a dour old bishop who roamed round riding on a white horse with a strange fellow at his side, and on occasion he would give gifts to children on his birthday, December the 6th. But he also would give children a broom to give them a little bit of a swat, if you will. And sometimes he would even send some children to a faraway place known as Spain. Well, children living in a faraway place known as the New Netherlands on the island of Manhattan, grandly called New Amsterdam, went and begged their parents at around this time of year, "May Sinterklaas come and visit with us and leave in our shoes little toys and an orange?" Well, the parents said, "Well, we wish Sinterklaas here could come, but Sinterklaas is an ocean away. I'm afraid, my dear children, there's no way for Sinterklaas to come here." But the kids begged to differ. They said, "We were down at the parade ground on the tip of Manhattan Island, and there we saw Sinterklaas standing there alive." "How do you know he was alive?" "Why, smoke came out of his pipe." "Oh, children, don't you know? That was the wooden figurehead on the prow of a ship called the Goede Vrouw, and when the ship arrived safely, scaring off storms and sea serpents, why, some people asked, 'Could we have the wooden figure of Sinterklaas remain here with us in the New World?' 'Oh, please, Skipper, would you do that?' And so that's all it is, a wooden figure." "Oh," said the children, "we saw Olaf and Cortland go up to that figure of wood, and some smoke came out of Sinterklaas's pipe. They breathed it in, and when Olaf breathed it in, he fell down and woke up and said he had a vision of Manhattan Island filled with buildings of stone and brick and steel and glass. If Olaf can have a vision, we can have a vision from Sinterklaas, and we can have a visit too." Well, the parents just shook their heads. But on the evening of December the 5th, the children put out their wooden shoes on the stoop below their doubled doors, and then they climbed up into their sleeping lofts and soon slept while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And on the morn of December the 6th, what to their wondering eyes did appear but the shoes spilling over with toys, Jacob's ladders and wooden dolls, jacks and more, and in the very bottom, proof positive, Sinterklaas came. An orange. Oh, there's no oranges growing round here. Only Sinterklaas could have brought one. The children gathered up their toys and ran down the Broadway and Water Street and Pearl Street, shrieking with joy over their new treasures. Now, in these days of which I speak, during the reign of Peter the headstrong Stuyvesant, there lived many different sorts of people on the island of Manhattan. Some were English, some were German, some were Dutch, of course. Some were natives and some were from Africa, but all wondered, what do those kids have? What did they get? Well, when the others asked, where did you get those toys? Where'd you get those treasures? The Dutch children just said, and then they said, Sinterklaas. It wasn't long before all the children begged their parents, may we have a visit from this one they call, what was the name again? Santa Claus? Well, it took some doing, especially among the English parents who said, oh, we don't celebrate Christmas with revelry and song and gifts. No, not at all. Indeed, even the pilgrims on Christmas Day worked instead of singing songs and celebrating. But the children were determined and filled with hope, and they begged and pleaded until at long and at last all began to agree. This one, this goodly saint, would give gifts around Christmas Eve into Christmas Day. And when the new nation formed, a great nation, a vast nation, 3 wise men came along and said, "Oh, this one they call Santa Claus needs a more convenient way to travel." So Washington Irving, James Kirk Paulding, and Clement Clark Moore gave Sinterklaas a makeover. They took the dour bishop's hat and tippled it over. They shortened his pipe so it was like a little stump, and its smoke just encircled his head like a wreath. It didn't send visions. They cropped his coat, trimmed it with fur, and gave him a sack full of toys. And, oh, the poor old white horse got put out to pasture. You see, Washington Irving knew reindeer fly. And to keep a bit of the Dutch in all of this, a couple of the reindeer were named Donner and Bliksem, thunder and lightning. And soon Santa Claus was on his way, delivering toys to girls and boys in the new United States. But there would be no Santa Claus if those colonial Dutch children from the 1640s hadn't had a little hope, a little faith, to pitch-clunk, set out their wooden shoes. If you're having a visit from Santa Claus, you can thank those kids and have faith. Santa Claus is still, in spite of all the troubles we've endured this year, coming to town, your town. And that's the story of the origin of Santa Claus. Thanks much for listening.